We meet today pursuant to notice to mark up 2 bipartisan measures. As your offices were notified on Monday, it is the intent of the Chair to consider en bloc the following items, which were previously provided to members and are in your folders. First bill is H.R. 1853, to direct the President to develop a strategy to obtain observer status for Taiwan in the International Criminal Police Organization. And the second bill is House Resolution 235, expressing deepest condolences to and solidarity with the people of Nepal following the recent devastating earthquakes, and Salmon Amendment 70 in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 235. Without objection, these items are considered as read and will be considered en bloc. I will now recognize members to speak on these items beginning with myself and the ranking member. Today we consider measures H.R. 1853 on Taiwan joining Interpol and H.Res. 235 on condolences and support for relief efforts in Nepal after their devastating earthquake. For 36 years, the Taiwan Relations Act has helped promote peace and stability in Asia and facilitated a productive relationship between the United States and Taiwan. In the spirit of the Trade Relations Act, I, along with the Chair and ranking members of both the full Committee on Foreign Affairs and the Subcommittee on Asia and the Pacific, Mr. Royce, Mr. Engel, and Mr. Sherman, introduced important legislation that advocates the U.S. government's support of Taiwan's efforts to obtain observer status in the International Criminal Police Organization, also known as Interpol. Interpol was designed to promote the widest possible mutual assistance between all criminal police authorities. From 1964 until 1984, Taiwan enjoyed full membership in Interpol, but was removed when the People's Republic of China applied for membership. This bill will require the President to develop a strategy to obtain observer status for Taiwan in Interpol. Specifically, it requires an official request for observer status for Taiwan, active urging of member states to assist in the effort, as well as a status report to Congress. Taiwan's observer status would promote stability and security in the Asia-Pacific region and assist Taiwan in protecting the safety of its citizens by combating criminal activity through access to Interpol's global police communications systems. Taiwan currently relies on the United States and other countries' secondhand information, and it is unable to share information on criminals to member countries, generating inefficiencies in addressing criminal activity throughout the region. With the rise in terrorism across the globe, not allowing Taiwan independent and easy access to Interpol is an unnecessary and a very dangerous risk. It is with this knowledge of the potential contributions Taiwan could provide that I wholeheartedly support H.R. 1853, which closely reflects Congress's support for Taiwan. I also want to thank Chairman Royce, Ranking Member Engel, for helping us move this bill swiftly through the full committee process, and we look forward to the full committee markup tomorrow on this bill. Next, I'd like to express my support for H.Res. 235, which raises awareness on the ongoing efforts by our government and other international actors to respond to the crisis in Nepal. It further encourages rescue efforts to focus on vulnerable populations, such as women and children. The resolution has garnered over 110 bipartisan co-sponsors. I have an amendment in the nature of a substitute that updates numbers on our aid efforts, that draws attention to the sacrifices of our Marines, and that focuses on the specific threats to women and children. On April 25, 2015, Nepal was hit with a devastating 7.8 magnitude earthquake northwest of the capital, Kathmandu. The earthquake claimed the lives of over 8,000 people, with thousands more reported injured, critical infrastructure damaged, including roads, hospitals, and homes. The United Nations estimated upwards of 8 million people were impacted by this earthquake, with 1.4 million people in need of immediate food assistance. After a quick response led on the U.S. front by USAID, with the Departments of State and Defense, search and rescue operations had neared conclusion. The rise in casualties began to slow, and international humanitarian relief began to clear the road to recovery. Then, on May 12th, Nepal was struck again with a 7.3 magnitude earthquake near the capital, this time to the east. This second earthquake claimed more lives and disrupted relief efforts. It was after this second event that we learned of one of our military helicopters going down in Nepal. We were saddened to hear the subsequent confirmation that we lost all six Marines aboard and the 2 Nepali soldiers traveling with them. It would be impossible for the subcommittee to properly thank these 5 men and women for their great service. The sacrifice that they made is far too great, and words are far too inadequate. We take solace in the fact that they served our nation by doing something truly American, helping pick up our friends when they've fallen. In fact, Arizona, we lost one of our own, one of our brightest and best in our efforts in delivering aid to Nepal, Lance Corporal Jacob A. Hug. Coincidentally, he has the same name as my 34-year-old son. And I spoke to his father yesterday for about 20 minutes on the phone. It was a very heartfelt exchange. And I want you to know that this family, they don't harbor any bitterness. They're so very proud of their son. They're proud of the life that he gave in the service of his fellow beings. And I'm proud of him, too, and I'm proud of all of them. This resolution expresses Congress's deepest condolences for all individuals affected by this tragic natural calamity. Yet the resolution also recognizes how, in the midst of this chaos, our government, especially USAID, the State Department, and the Department of Defense, have stepped up to provide unparalleled support, and I couldn't be prouder of them. We also commend the global NGO community for their ongoing humanitarian response and their selfless efforts and sacrifices. It's going to be a long road to recovery for Nepal, and it will be essential that the international community, both governments and NGOs, work closely with the Nepalese people to rebuild. I urge the committee's support for these 2 measures, and I now recognize the ranking member for his comments on today's measures.